Hi, we're Steffi and
Hi,
Selen,
and we're somewhere on the runaway.
and today is very special because it's actually Selen's birthday.
It is! I'm turning 28.
You've turned 28 now.
I have turned 28.
Yes. So where I am, it's 6 past midnight. Where you are, it's 6 past 1, right?
Yeah, it's 1 o'clock.
Do you know what time you were born, though?
Yeah. Well,
What
I'm
time?
not born yet,
Okay.
technically.
Yeah, I'm not
I
born
was
yet.
born like 1 p.m. and they say it was with öğle namazı.
Oh, lovely. Very special. So you
It's
came
it's
with
the
the prayers.
it's the call of prayer that happens during lunchtime.
So the prayers were answered and you were birthed into this world.
I mean, I was an accident, so I don't think it was a prayer or anything, but I was born
Aw.
during the call to prayer. Yeah.
So Selen, are you drinking beer tonight as well?
Yes.
You have one?
I'm back at my Stella.
Oh, okay. Well, I've run out, and I figured we should have something special tonight. So I'm drinking.
Oh my God, we get champagne. Well, you get champagne.
Well, it's technically cava because,
Mm,
I love you, but champagne I didn't have any in the house.
that's fine.
So I'm gonna open this, and we will cheers.
I'm nervous for you to do it right now.
Oh, it's not a cork.
Oh, that's good then.
This is gonna show how cheap I'm being. So I got this on a plane,
I was gonna say, did you get it on the plane because it's so tiny?
but I saved it. To be fair, I was in like first. I upgraded to first, and this was my second one. I was like, "Can I have one to go?" And they're like, "Sure." So yeah, I'm just gonna try to open
I
this.
get like one extra wine every time that I'm on the
Oh
plane.
yeah,
So
same. But I mean, I'm sure that's gonna stop now with COVID flights. We're not able to ask for more wine. First world
that's
problem.
the only way I could survive flying. I'm terrified of flying.
That's true. You are terrified of flying. Maybe we should talk about that in one segment.
Oh my God. Sure. I guess people
Okay,
can relate.
I'm gonna open it. I'm scared. Wait, it's like I'm not opening.
Well, go on. I mean,
Oh, oh, that was. Oh, that wasn't even the. Okay. That's so weird. It's shaped like a cork to make it
oh
feel
God.
like a cork, but it's
Okay.
not. It's just a little bottle cap. That is so. Oh, it's fizzing. Do you see it? No. All right.
Not really, no.
Now I want your opinion on this. Should I pour it into a wine glass because I don't have any champagne glasses, or just drink out of the bottle?
What'd you say? I'm sorry. I just got the sweetest text.
Oh, well, it's okay. It is your birthday, so we will stop for your sweet text, but you have to
Okay.
read them out loud if they're
Yeah,
not
sure.
private.
But
Okay,
I'll like translate it because it's in Turkish.
go for it.
She said,
I was just saying, should I drink out of the bottle or the glass? Because this is not a champagne glass.
bottle.
Okay.
I'm always a bottle person. Are you a glass person or a bottle person?
No, I'm a bottle person, but if it's a big bottle of wine, it's more socially
What do you mean?
acceptable.
That's like that's when you become the bottle person. No, just kidding,
Good
just kidding,
point.
just kidding.
Good
Yeah.
point. Let's cheers to you. Happy birthday
Oh, that's so
to
sweet.
you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Selen. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. So I'm out of the woods because I'm not 27 anymore.
You're not 27 anymore. You're safe. You can't be part of the 27 club anymore.
Mm-mm.
Was that a genuine fear of yours? Because I know you have
No, not really. No, not at all.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm still 27, but whenever
Yeah,
someone asks me my age, I feel like I'm 28 because everyone I hang out with is 28.
that's true.
So it's really weird. Very weird. So,
Cherry
my
chocolate.
dear elder, because you're so much older than me, I thought that today you could impart your wisdom as my elder onto me. And I was hoping you could give me 28 life lessons you've learned in 28 years. How do you feel about that?
Sure, we can come up with some.
Yeah, can we?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, yeah.
What comes to mind? What's the number one lesson that comes to mind? Let's start with number one.
Sure. Number one would be everything a person says about you, every act that a person does towards you is about them, not you.
I can say that I haven't given it a lot of active thought, but I do see that being true. You started on a really good one.
I did. Thank you.
That's
It's
tough.
just
Yeah.
people have very different experiences in life
Mm.
that I mean, from the moment they're born, they just like face very different environments and like very different circumstances. Some harder than others, some very hard, some, you know,
Mm-hmm.
pleasant. And what that person associates you with, you have nothing to do with.
That's true.
So that's a good reason to not care about what people think. Not that
That's
I
very
don't
true.
care about what people think, because I still do, but it is a good thought process to have if you're struggling with, you know, caring too much about what people think of you.
Mm. Definitely. I think a lot of the things that I've discovered in my 20s are that things aren't as black and white as you think they might be. And also, people do a lot of things out of self motivation rather than, as you said, thinking of it's a reflection of who they are rather than who you are,
Exactly.
their behavior towards you. Yeah. Okay, so I would like to add in like a second life lesson is that I realize that you don't always have to have a plan. And I think I know what you think about that, but
I mean,
elaborate.
for us to say that you should have a plan will be very, very like hypocritical.
But that's really funny because I think that I identify as someone who thinks she always has a plan or always has a structure.
I thought of you like that as well, but then at the same time, like, well, I've always thought of myself who doesn't plan,
Okay.
someone who doesn't plan, And I always thought, like if people always say like plans don't work out, right? So my thought process was like, then I'm not gonna have a plan. I'm just gonna like do whatever that like feels right at the moment. But what happens is you end up with not having a lot of meaning in your life.
Mm.
So you end up searching for meaning, and then you end up being very confounded with confounded with whatever you have around you. So, for example, if you're around really inspiring people, then that's a very cool approach, because then you have a lot of inspiration and a lot of like stimuli from people. And when you hear a certain person, talk about a certain topic, that might pique your interest. But if you're if you're not in an environment like that, which is like it rarely happens that you are in one, then if you don't get the inspiration from around you, and if you don't end up like being lucky enough to have that, like deep conversation with people where like you get inspired to do something or like get an idea, then you end up doing pretty much nothing.
So you could just drift along and then just
Yeah,
lose
exactly.
track.
You just end up drifting along. So
That's interesting.
that would be like the danger of it, I'd say,
What
of
about
not having a plan.
would you differentiate between short-term plans and long-term plans though? Because I think it's very important to
Um,
have a short-term plan.
yeah, I mean, of course. Also, I think your point is totally valid still. I think you don't need to have a plan. You don't have to be deciding at that moment. Like you can't have an exact plan at every single moment of your life. There will be moments where you're like feeling very lost, very like insecure and very misplaced. And at those moments, it's okay to experience all of those feelings and not have a plan. That is
What you
definitely
were
true.
saying was very accurate though, because if you're not surrounded by people that inspire you or push you to be the best version of yourself, you could just lose track of the plot and just not end up doing anything. And in fact, I'd like to make that number
Exactly.
3 if we can. And I want to frame it in a way of saying like the people you are the people you surround yourself with. That's one that I hear a lot, and I was wondering what you think
That's
about that because I do agree with it, and it's something that I'm trying to practice in my late 20s. How about you?
what I mean, that's definitely correct in the way that whoever's around you, they rub off on you. You're gonna start acting like them. You're gonna start talking like them. You're gonna start using their words. I mean, it happened to me so many times where, for example, I have a cousin who's Canadian. She would come to Turkey, and then she has this like cute Turkish accent when she speaks in Turkish, and I would pick it up all the time. Like I would speak in her accent, my own native language. So it's really, it would be unreasonable to assume that you wouldn't pick up on people's habits and people's, attitudes.
Mm-hmm.
So it is important who's around you, because you're going to start thinking like them and acting like them eventually.
Absolutely. And yeah, that's just something from my own as well, my own experiences as well. I think that there's a lot of difference between who I am when I'm surrounded by creative people and who I am when I'm not surrounded by creative people. I myself am pushed to become a more creative person. And
Mm-hmm.
without going into too much detail, I basically left a corporate career job to go into the arts. And but then it's difficult not to fall into the trap of relying too much on external stimuli as well. So, for
That's
example,
true.
I thought, okay, I'm going to be surrounded by so many artists and great and amazing creative people. I'll be a better creative myself. But I think
Then where do you
you'll have
fit
to
in
put
though,
in.
right?
I don't want to say lazy, but I didn't put in the extra effort
Yeah.
to reach that potential. But I definitely agree. I definitely believe that you are who you surround yourself with.
Well, to be fair, putting in the effort is not an easy process. It's a really like hard, emotionally exhausting, mentally exhausting process, like
Yeah.
it's fair that you didn't at one point.
Something that something this might not be that significant, but it was definitely something I had to learn as I got older, is that internal health is more important than how you look on the outside. And I think
As in how you feel, or
both mentally but also physically, like your internal health, like your actual physical health is more important than being skinny or looking good on the outside.
oh, for sure, yeah.
It's so easy for you because you're
Yeah.
a fit healthy person, but for me
No,
my whole life it was about like fitting into the smaller size clothes and looking like,
that's
especially,
crazy to me. You always looked amazing.
that's very kind of you to say, but I did
Always.
fluctuate a bit before.
I did too.
Yeah,
I mean, come on. I lost like what, 15 kilos in or what, second year?
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you
So
did
like,
it the healthy way. You did it by exercise
yeah, I
and
did it.
nutrition.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was never, my goal was never to, you know what? That's my, that's going to be my next lesson
Okay.
that I've learned.
Go ahead, say it. Number five.
What number are we at?
Five.
5? Okay. So number 5 will be, you're not going to be able to get to where you want to be in terms of your physical body unless you accept it as the way it is right now.
Beautiful.
It's just the truth. Obviously, it's like a big thing in Turkey.
Yeah, being skinny is considered being beautiful. I don't know how it
I
is
mean,
nowadays,
the
but
rest of the world doesn't work like that anymore, thank God. But
even
Turkey
when I was in
still,
high school in Europe in the Netherlands, being skinny was more important than anything else. Like you have to be,
yeah,
yeah, definitely.
I
Thin
think
with big
so.
boobs. No ass, zero
Awesome.
ass. Thin with big boobs was like in the early 2000s. That was like key
Oh,
hype,
how things have changed.
right? Yeah.
I mean, thank God for they
Yeah,
changed
good
for the
for me.
better.
I mean, I have a bit of a butt, so, and no tits, so.
But the thing is, I lost 15 kilos, which is like, how many pounds would that be?
I don't know, 35, 40?
30?
I can look it up. More than 30,
Like
I think so,
35 or
35.
something. And honestly, all of my life, I struggled to lose weight. I tried diets. I, I tried exercising and stuff, and it was always to lose weight. And
Mm.
when I like started losing weight, I'd get excited and stuff, but I would always gain it back. And the moment I was like, I really don't care how people like look at me, and like I'm happy in my body and like I'm okay with it, was when I was able to concentrate on like exercising for being healthy, like I just wanted to like be stronger and be faster and be more athletic. And that, with that motivation and like w- I was feeling so good about myself.
I love
And
that.
that is
Yeah.
when I was able to lose a lot of weight and like, get into get into shape and be more fit. And I feel like that's just like the only way that you can actually lose weight and sustain it.
Mm. That's very interesting because I'm just learning this now at the age of 27. I mean, maybe not 27, let's say 26, 25, 26. When I went to Thailand for the first time to a fitness camp, that's when I really felt that strength, and the way you and your physical health and strength really makes you beautiful. And that goes into your second, or makes you strong and healthy. It goes into your point as well of, it happens when you don't, how did you phrase it? You phrased it really nicely. When you're not
I'm
focusing.
on my third beer. Give me a break.
What I'm taking away from it that can be used for anything in life is that the best results come when you're not focusing on the result, but you're focusing
Exactly.
on the
Yeah,
process.
that makes sense.
And
Yeah.
not just in physical fitness, but also in work. Like, for example, I am an amateur actress. And if you focus on becoming a successful actress, you're never going to make it. You have to focus on putting the hard work in and really enjoying and loving what you do and doing it like hours and like 20 hours a day. Okay, maybe not 20, but
Yeah.
15
So
hours a
loving
day.
the process.
And then the result will come. This isn't something that I necessarily learned, but it's something that I live by, so I want to share it. A little indulgence never hurt anyone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
A little bit of cake won't kill you.
Also, it doesn't hurt you and it actually motivates you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, my favorite thing in the world is going out with my friends.
Me too.
Fridays, like Friday nights, not like going to a club or anything, just going to a bar, having a good conversation, having a few beers, that's my favorite thing in the world. And that's my indulgence every week.
Yeah.
And I love it and I need it. And it's, it just makes me feel so much better about life.
Yeah. I agree.
If it's not something unhealthy, of course.
I think even the unhealthy stuff you can indulge.
I don't mean as in like candy, but like.
You mean as in like
as in unhealthy behaviors or like addictions or anything like that.
Oh. No, I understand. But at the same time, you could argue, I mean, you're the psychologist, so you got to tell us that.
I'm not a psychologist. Well, this is my first year.
I would argue that telling an addict, they can't, not an addict, but telling someone that is obsessed with doing a certain behavior that they can't do it will make them want it even more. So why not have a little indulgence? A little bit never hurt anyone. That's
do you mean as in like something that they should be doing because it's like, what would be an example? Because if it's like an obsessive behavior for them, or if it's like an addictive thing, they can't help it anyways.
Yeah. So if it's a clinically obsessive behavior or something where
then they can't
they
help
really
it
shouldn't be doing it, then no. But if it's like,
they can't help it anyways. I mean, otherwise, if you mean like, like watching TV for a really long time, or like watching an extra episode of a show, then of course, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like if you tell someone no, you cannot watch Netflix at all, they're gonna want it more. And then when they get, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But are you a person that limits themselves or like feels guilty when you do those things?
That's a tough question. I've never really limited myself, but I have suffered for it. That's what I'm working on for my late 20s, early 30s.
Okay.
I've never limited myself, or I do feel guilty, but I don't feel guilty enough not to do it again. Just being totally honest.
But that's, you know what? It's not that you don't feel guilty enough. It's just that it's human nature. That's how things work.
Yeah.
If something is, hard and like puts a lot of pressure on your like cognitive systems and stuff, you just don't want to do it because it's exhausting, and you don't want to spend too much energy on it.
That's true, but if it's something that you have to do at some point, then you should do it.
Oh, you mean like procrastinating?
Not necessarily, but I think if your behavior or if your indulgence is stopping you from achieving something that you have to do, you have to limit it.
Of a problem anyways.
Yeah. We're learning. We're still young.
I mean, hopefully.
Yeah, we are. I want to add a life lesson.
That's a very cliche thing to say, but it really is important.
Absolutely, because this is very also particular to my situation. It is never too late to change your career. Never. Then I would like to propose another life lesson that I've been thinking about.
Go ahead.
Your daily happiness is the most important thing.
That's definitely true.
Controversial? I don't know about you, but my whole life I've always thought like suffer. One day it'll pay off and I'll achieve my goals.
I feel like that's such a weird thing because You know what? I'll add in another lesson right now. Don't listen to advice. Don't listen to cliche sentences that people tell you. Don't listen to weird advice that like older people give you. Don't listen to like the you gotta try until you make it. Like you need to be fighting for your like. Just don't listen to those stuff. Don't
Yep.
listen to motivational speeches. It doesn't make any sense because they don't tell you how to do things. They just tell you to try harder,
Yeah.
be better, get somewhere, and like, it's just, yeah, I guess to get pumped up, that's fine. But the thing is, you always end up feeling so shitty because you're like, I'm not going anywhere. Am I just not trying hard enough? Am I just like, I don't even know what to do? Like, like, I don't know how to try any harder than this. I
Aw.
don't know, like that's,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had that thought all the time. I'm like, am I not doing enough? Am I not trying hard enough? Am I not, you know, do I know enough people? Am I networking enough? Am I doing everything I can possibly do to get to where I want to be?
You're too hard on yourself.
I
That's
mean, I feel like that's the thought process of a lot of people though.
okay. Then I'd like to morph that into the next one. But first, I want to add on to the advice one. I think you could take advice from inspirational people you trust, but maybe we should put it in a sense like don't follow what other people tell you to do with your life.
Okay, so my next one is I think a lot of people have heard this before, but it helped me so much through everything. Nothing you're feeling is forever. And
That's true.
it's gonna last way shorter than you think it's gonna last.
That's true. Absolutely.
Emotions come in waves, and if you feel like completely overwhelmed with emotion, like you can't possibly do anything else or like overcome it, just give it 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour.
Time.
You're gonna feel slightly different. Like, yeah, it's gonna come back. It's gonna come back up again, but it's gonna go down again. So know that, for example, I use this when I'm studying all the time. I get so bored and I'm like, I cannot sit at this desk for one more second. And then I go, you know what? You're not gonna feel that bored in like 5 minutes. So just give it 5 minutes. And I give it 5 minutes. And you know what? I end up giving it another hour.
That's such good advice. I need to follow that more often.
It's just tell yourself it's not gonna last forever. Yeah, I feel so terrible right now, but you know what? I'm probably not gonna in like an hour or so.
I give that advice to people that are suffering from like heartache or sadness. Like,
Exactly,
nothing
yeah.
is forever. I mean,
Yeah.
just and what I do is if I'm very, very upset, I'll sleep. I'll sleep if I'm able to sleep. Sometimes I'm not able to sleep, and then just have a couple of drinks.
I don't sleep. I'm
See,
the
that's
exact
what.
opposite. I stay awake all the
But
whole time.
it's not gonna solve anything, Selen. Like you have to just move
But the
on.
thing
And the
is,
next day
I
you'll feel
hate
better.
waking up.
I'm the same, but the next day, no matter how badly you wake up, you will feel better about that problem. Always.
I disagree. I hate waking up
Really?
and feeling shitty. I
Maybe I
hate like
get.
that moment of like waking up and like remembering everything.
I don't have that. That's so
Oh
weird.
God.
That's where we differ. I think I always feel more forgiving and more accepting and happier in the morning. No matter, I
I
mean,
always wake
morning.
up and like everything like rushes in and I'm like, oh God, I feel awful.
Oh, well, here's the thing. I don't like leaving things unresolved. I mean, if there's something that's unresolved, I have to resolve it before I can go to sleep. But if I don't have any control or power over the situation, I will try to leave it for the future. I mean, it's not avoidance at all. It's just
No,
thinking
I
like,
understand what you
if
mean.
I can't change anything or if I can't talk to that person or like discuss or solve the issue, then what's the point of me mulling it over and thinking about it all night?
That's definitely true. Also, I want to make it clear that I'm not talking about like long term either. I'm not saying like you're gonna get over your heartache. You're obviously gonna get over your heartache eventually. That's
Yeah, that's different.
definitely gonna happen.
Yeah, yeah.
But what I also mean is emotions come in waves, which means you're
Mm.
gonna feel better. Like you're gonna be able to handle that emotion in a little while. Just give it a little more. Just give it a little more time.
That's
And then
so
you're gonna feel
interesting.
better.
I think this is where you are the more mature adult than me because I have to put this into practice. I have to test it out.
It's a hard thing to do. It took me a really long time to realize. And you don't do it until you have to.
Wow.
But it's just if you're like so overwhelmed and you're like, how the hell am I gonna deal with it? Which I've been there so many freaking times. and like been in that mind state for like way too long, just know that it's gonna get like slightly less intense in a few seconds, in a few minutes, in an hour or so.
Wow.
Just yeah.
I love
And then
that.
you're gonna be able to deal with it a little bit better.
I love that. That's a great life lesson.
I'm glad you like it.
I do. I really do. I'm gonna use that. Like next time I'm bored doing something, be like, just shut up and do it, Steffi. Like just do it, and
Just give it just 5 more minutes, and you're not gonna feel like that in 5 minutes.
I've heard that like tip. If you don't want to do something, start doing it and say you're giving yourself 5 minutes, and eventually you'll just give yourself more time.
Yeah, that's how
Yeah.
you like trick your brain to do it.
Yeah.
It's dumb, but it works.
Yeah. I think one very important thing that I keep imparting onto other people, like I keep imparting this wisdom onto other people, because I've been in a relationship since dinosaurs went extinct. Like I've been
Even longer than I have, which is like crazy because no one's been alone in a longer
exactly.
relationship than I have.
So I haven't been following this advice because I haven't had to. But every time one of my friends, my girlfriends or boyfriends has a problem with their relationship, I'll say, if they like you, they will call you.
That's definitely
Simple
true.
as that.
That's definitely true.
Simple as that. And it's not about how you can manipulate the situation or like play around or like have them thirst over you or post something cryptic and then they'll text you. No, if they like you, they will call you or text you because it's 2020. And
You know what? Don't play freaking games. Don't wait until you text people back. That's weird. I've never done that in my entire life. Never, not once.
me neither. Not once.
Never. I've never thought about like what people mean when they say something, what people like are trying to like, get at or whatever. Because you know what? They're gonna tell you what they mean. They're gonna tell you as much as they would want you to know. So don't go digging around in people's minds or like into their sentences trying out what if they like you or not. You know what? If you're so freaking curious that you can't freaking stand it, can I curse on this thing?
Of course, I've been cursing a lot.
If you can't fucking stand not knowing if they like you or not, go up to them and say, I like you, and I really need to know if you like me back or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just so much simpler than the games, and it's so much better communication, and it's gonna get you so much further than all of the games would.
Absolutely. I mean, I can remember two very, 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 should I say very again? Very
Very. I'll
specific
join you for it.
instances. There we go. Very specific instances where I made a very conscious decision that I was just going to let it be more in the relationship if I had to, but let them come back to me.
Exactly.
And it happened. And I never went groveling, or I never played any games, or I never tried to like dig into something. I gave it time. I said, okay, well, if I have to be uncertain for that period of time, I have to be uncertain. That's fine. But if they like me, they will come back. And I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
And just one more thing on that, and I thought about it while you were talking. I have really like adopted this in my life because being the control freak that I am, you can't control someone else's reaction to things that you do or say.
Exactly. That's what I mean when I say everything a person does and says to you is about them.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at us, so intelligent 27, 28-year-olds. By the way, this is
I
so
won't say intelligent. It's just like, we're trying to get to a point where we're like able to sustain a healthy mental health level to live.
We're learning to live. We're learning to
I guess it's safe to say you probably, if you don't have issues, you don't think about these stuff. So we, of course, both dealt with stuff that got us to a point where like we want to get better and we want to like have an understanding of how life works, how relationships work, how we can be better people.
Absolutely.
And that's where like all of this is coming from.
Yeah. Yeah. And the reason why I've had to learn a lot of these things is because like I've had the longest relationship out of all my friends. I mean, I've been dating this guy that I'm with for almost 9 years.
You're not gonna say anything.
So I feel like everyone else that I talk to has had shorter relationships than me. So I kind of, that's what I can share. Not that I'm
Well, that's kind of weird because like I would say same, but the thing is you have a longer relationship than I do. But like how many people actually have that?
very little, and it's very
Yeah,
rare and special, and it's a lot of hard work. Here's my next life lesson.
it's a lot of hard
Nothing
work.
good comes easy.
That's definitely true.
Yeah.
That's for sure true. But
Uh,
you know what? I think that's because it's not that you can't get lucky and like get something really good for like nothing. You can.
yeah.
You can be easily like that can happen. But you know what? It doesn't mean anything if you didn't actually
Work hard for it.
want it, work toward it, and then get it.
Yeah.
And that this is like a cliche thing where it's like if you don't work for it, it doesn't mean it really doesn't. It really doesn't.
I wanted to add something onto that. I think you don't realize how good things are until you reflect on them. You know what I
That's definitely
mean?
true. And you know what people say? Um, technology and like especially like being on your smartphone really takes away from that
It does.
because if you go on, you know, you go out with your friends or like you go have lunch with a friend and you get in your car and you're like on your phone or like you get back home and you're on your phone and you're like texting different people, you don't get the time to reflect on what happened.
Yeah.
And that's it's a really important thing to like spend time doing.
I was thinking about that recently. I was thinking about all the things that I've done in 2019 and in the first few months of 2020. And to me, it feels like I haven't done any of them. Whereas if it was the old me, I would think like, wow, that's amazing. I did this and this. And like, I
Yeah, I know what
did
you mean.
quite a lot of stuff last year, but it
That's
just
another
feels like I've
point
done nothing.
though. Give yourself the credit you deserve.
It's a very good one. I think what you said is so right. Like we've lost track of appreciating things
Yeah.
in slow time because everything moves so quickly. I mean, as you said, if you go to lunch with a friend, you have this thing. I have it in front of me right now. You know what I mean? You have this thing where there's like a million things popping up. So we could have the best conversation ever and then move on and then have another thing and then forget that we ever had lunch. Not
Exactly.
not forget, but lose the value of that. One thing that I have learned to do, and I think this has changed the most in my personality, is that I have learned that listening is more valuable than talking.
I would agree with it. I think it's very helpful for you to like form better relationships, um, become a better person, and learn from, you know, whoever's around you.
It's difficult because
It
you
is
do
difficult.
tend to, I mean, what's happened with me is I tend to slip into the introverted side
Oh
sometimes,
yeah.
you know, because I used to be quite an extrovert before I got a little older. But even though I had the capacity to empathize with people and like feel what they were feeling, I would tend to overshare so
Oh my
much
God.
and talk so much. And I feel like maybe the person in front of me wouldn't feel as valued. So now I genuinely listen. And I prefer listening, even if I have something to share. I prefer to be the one letting someone else share. You know what I mean? But
I
then
get what you
sometimes
mean.
there's a danger in falling into the quiet person.
I get what you mean. I don't think you would fall into the quiet person
Not
because
me.
I
I'm
think it's
different
very
because I'm quite
important
loud.
to I think it's I think it's really important to before you give advice or before you're
Yeah,
answering something, it's
absolutely.
really important to kind of take a moment to understand if what you're going to say is either going to help them, add any value to their thoughts, is going to change anything, is going to make them feel better, or are you just saying it just to, you know, have said anything?
Yeah,
Don't go for like cliche answers for people, you know, like just be careful
agreed.
about what they're saying to you and what you're saying back to them because it makes the biggest difference.
And I'm back with my,
And
oh,
we're back.
it's like cobbled, here, my wine. Cheers again to
Cheers
you.
again. To you too.
Your face looks really cute through the bottle. It like warps it.
It does?
Yeah, that's so cute. I don't think I have that. No, just
No, you can't.
what about through this one?
It's not.
Not working.
It's
All
not
right. Do you have
super
any
enough.
more life lessons for me? Impart your wisdom on me.
Put more wisdom on you. Got it. Don't test your friends on if they call you or not.
Oh my God. You mean
Don't do
like,
it.
you mean, I think I know what you mean. You mean like, don't expect, like, I think I know exactly what you mean, but I have a very hard time articulating it.
Don't expect them to reach out to you all the time. Don't expect them to like stay in touch just because, don't test them on it. If you're thinking of them, call them. Give them a
I
call.
agree. I agree.
We'll go
Not
through
just
a
friends,
bunch
anyone.
of shit. And
Yeah.
sometimes they're just like really depressed. Sometimes they're super busy. Sometimes they're just like really worried. Just call them.
Yeah.
Just give them a call.
I
It's
100%
fine.
agree.
Even if it's the 10th time that you're calling them, if they're like your good friend, it's fine.
I agree. And one thing that I hate the most about people that are my friends, you don't do it at all, and I think that's why we get along very well. If someone comes up to me and says like, "Oh, you haven't called me in like so and so months." It's like, you could have called
I
me.
have a friend that does that as well. And I'm like, also they're like, whenever I get back to Turkey, and I'm like, I call them, and I'm like, hey, I'm in Turkey, and they're like, oh, I had no, why didn't you tell me? And I'm like, I'm literally calling you and telling you. What do you mean?
Why didn't you tell me is like the most annoying sentence ever. Like, why should I? Like, why? What do I like? I'll tell you if I tell you, or if it comes up, or if it's relevant. I feel like I don't owe, not owe, but I feel I don't tell everyone everything that happens to me. Do you know what I
Obviously.
mean? But some people
And
just expect like, oh, I'm your best friend, or I'm your so and so friend. Why didn't you tell me you were doing this, this, and this? Did I have to? I feel like I
that's
sound like a
honestly,
psychopath.
that's just crazy to me because like there's no way you can, being best friends doesn't mean you share every single detail of your life with someone.
I absolutely agree. Maybe that should be like a life lesson too. You don't have to share everything with everyone.
Yeah. Be also, no one can be everything to you. Don't
Ooh,
expect your significant other to be like your everything. That's
I
not going
love
to
that.
happen. That's
That's
never going to
wonderful.
happen.
Absolutely.
You need different people in your life for different things. Asking one person to be your entire life and like fulfill all of your needs. See, I'm stumbling over my words.
That is
That's
so
not fair to them.
controversial.
That's not
That is
fair.
absolutely, I completely agree with you, but that is such a controversial topic. So many people will want one person that will fulfill them. Not
That's
fulfill
not
them,
going to
just
happen.
fulfill all kinds of roles. And I think there's a reason why we have friends that we hang out with and why we have a relationship, or maybe even an open relationship, or maybe have like a polyamorous relationship. Like there are reasons why we have different relationships. Like you're never saying like, oh, like I have a mother, why do I need someone else? Like people fulfill different roles in your life, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because your mother will
That's
love you
that's a good point.
unconditionally.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you find different people to fulfill different roles in your life for your needs. And you
Exactly.
also, yeah, it's a very good one. One more thing that I have learned to do over these years is to be grateful for everything that I have. It's so easy to get
Hmm.
swept up in, oh, I don't have this, or I haven't fulfilled this, or I haven't been able to accomplish this, but just be grateful for the things that you do have,
Exactly.
right? Do you have any more?
I bet I do. I just don't remember them.
Let's think.
Have one not too bad vice.
Ooh, why, may I ask?
It's just nice to, it's just fun to be, mischievous a little bit. Breaking the rules, you don't break the rules, don't break the rules. But like, if something like is making you feel kind of like a little bit of a rebel,
Hmm.
and if it's okay, if it's not like too bad for you, do it.
Yeah,
It's fun.
I agree. What kind of vices do you have? Dare you indulge?
Mm. Well, lately the worst thing I've done is like drink coffee at night. So it's been a responsible period. I have exams.
Hashtag adult life. I drink
I
coffee at
know.
night.
Oh my God. Right? Well, I mean, like staying up really late for me, for example.
I
Like I
see.
go to bed at like 5 a.m. in the morning. I fucking love it. Like when it's like 3 a.m. and I'm like still awake, I'm like, this is so much fun. No one knows that I'm awake and I'm awake. Everyone's asleep.
I love being awake at night because there's no time frame or time limit. You're free.
Yeah, that's true
It's the
too.
most free you're going to be. However, I always feel like I'm the most awake and the most proactive and the most creative at night, but I can't do anything because it's night. It's free. Like, I don't have to do anything. Do you know what I mean?
I do stuff at night.
Well, now we're doing this at night, which is fine.
I do everything at
But
night, by the way.
I don't mean
I
like,
study at night.
yeah, so studying is different.
Yeah, it is country, yeah.
I mean, in terms of stuff that you don't have to do, but you want to do.
But like, don't you like get creative at night? Because I get creative at night.
I do, but I don't end up doing it.
I draw all the time at night.
That's amazing. Wow.
I do it all the time at night. I feel like this is my next life lesson. It's not a life lesson. It's just what I want to say. Night is freaking magic. Nighttime is magic.
Nighttime is magic. Well, I wanted to say something that was very similar to that, but might be more applicable in the larger sense.
Do it.
Don't follow social norms because they are what is quote unquote right to do. For example, I have
Definitely don't.
Yeah, I have always been a night person my whole life. Even when I was working 9 to 5 and getting up at 7 o'clock every morning, I have always been better at functioning at night. And everybody always told me, you'll grow out of it. Like, you're young, you know, you just got out of college. You'll grow out of it. You'll wake up early. Like, you'll understand that that's your natural rhythm. Just because something is a social norm, I mean, there are better examples to share, but just because something is a norm doesn't mean that that's the correct thing to do. Do what feels right for you within reason.
Having said that, sleep 8 hours. Sleeping less is not a good idea.
Absolutely.
Sleeping little is gonna kill you earlier. You're gonna die earlier if you sleep little.
Yeah.
Everyone who's like, I hate it. Like, this is one of the things that I hated about like corporate jobs and stuff, because everyone was like, I go to bed at like 2 a.m. and then wake up at 6 a.m. and go to work. I only slept 4 hours and it's cool. It's not cool. It's gonna end up killing you earlier than you're supposed to die.
Unfortunately, it is.
Sleep 8 hours. Don't sacrifice that for anything.
Even if your body gets used to it, and even if you feel like it's normal, it's not healthy.
It's not normal.
Sleep 8 hours. I agree 100%. We can, tick that off and say that is
sleep 8 hours. Just do it.
Accurate.
Make it a principle. And on that point, have principles.
That's a good one.
Write down your principles.
Now.
Huh?
You're waking up now.
It's almost 3 a.m. I bet I am.
Oh, you've got really good. Wow. Impart your wisdom on me, girl.
It's important to have principles. Have principles about your life, about what you want to be, about who you are. And if something is really close to who you are, do not change that for anyone.
Absolutely.
Do not threaten your self-image for anyone. It's just going to end up being a mess, and it's just going to hurt you way more than it will benefit you.
Absolutely. Maybe one more thing that I want to add, another lesson. I think this is number 26 though, but we can do more, and then we'll see. If we have too many, that's even better. But
then just cut them out. Cut the bad ones out.
The bad ones. So we'll do more than what we need. Never assume that people don't have their own agenda.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big one, especially with the corporate. I mean, they might spin it as saying, oh, it's really good for your early career development that you're in here longer. No, fuck no. They just want you to work more for less pay. That's a very simple example. That's how I came to this realization, but it's the case in everything. I mean, if it seems too good to be true, it's too good to be true.
It definitely is. Also, I'll take that further. Don't expect people to not lie to you. Yeah. I always think like there's no point in lying about this. Why would they? But then I've had so many occasions where people actually like were lying for no reason.
Yeah. We're getting really negative though, so we should bring up the mood a little bit. But it's true. I mean, once you get screwed over so many times, you learn.
Also, you know what? No, it's not negative. Everyone lies about certain things. Yeah. Everyone is uncomfortable about weird things in life.
I do like to give people the benefit of the doubt.
Well, of course. But no. I don't mean like, you know what? Okay. It's not like people are trying to take advantage of you or people are trying to like manipulate you or anything like that. It's usually like people are either insecure about something, just don't want you to know, are uncomfortable confronting you about something. Oh my God. Are uncomfortable confronting you about something. So there is different reasons why they might be lying, but don't assume that they will never lie to you. That's not realistic.
That's true.
And Yeah, it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
I have one more.
Go for it.
Trying to get attention is okay. People need attention.
I like that. I would have never thought about that on my own, I think.
I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, you're just trying to get attention. You're trying to be like, you're just, like that's like such a negative thing to say. Yeah, people need attention. Obviously. You don't need attention. Everyone needs attention. Everyone does.
I love that.
And if they don't get it, don't you feel sad for them? That's awful that they're not getting attention from people
Well, I
that they
think
need
usually when
attention
people
from.
say, like, when people say, are we doing that to get attention? Usually they have some shortcoming that they're trying to compensate for. Like they're angry at you about something, or they're jealous about something, or they're annoyed at you for some reason. And that's just, I think anyone that comes at you with a negative approach, I would be weary of. I would say, what is their agenda? Coming back to the
I've
agenda,
heard
why?
so many people be like, "Oh yeah, like about like posts on social media. She's just trying to get a lot of attention." Like, yeah,
It's
if she needs attention so bad that she's like posting pictures on social media to get attention, why? She needs attention. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
is all about getting attention. It's all about putting, not in a negative way, it's about putting a picture of you or something that you've experienced or you want to share, and having people acknowledge what you're sharing, whether that be a picture of you or of like your food or anything. Like it's about getting attention in not a negative way, but just about sharing and getting
Why
attention.
is
Nothing
getting
wrong with that.
attention negative anyways?
I don't know. I think it has to do with some decade old, like,
Like, you need to be so
female.
humble that you don't need attention. You need attention as a human being. Like, you do.
Exactly.
You need
We're
people to
not,
pay attention to your life.
we're not all Beyonce. We don't just get attention for.
I mean, that's just the way it is. You need people to witness your life, and that means giving you attention. And everyone deserves attention and needs attention. So don't blame people for like wanting, yeah, people want attention.
And
That's not a bad thing.
maybe I'll add to that. I haven't thought about that before, but maybe I'll add to that. Like if you see someone that looks like they're looking for attention, as you said, they might be lonely. They might genuinely need that attention. So give it to them. Give them the attention.
People aren't stupid. If they're like doing something unreasonable to get attention, they probably really, really, really need attention.
Yeah.
It's not, it just makes you a better person if you give it to them, whatever. You might make a new friend.
Which God knows, it's very hard to make friends after your early mid-20s.
It really isn't for me though.
Well, that's because you're in an educational environment, so you're meeting a ton of people.
No, even at bars and shit.
You good to go up to strangers and like be friends? Yeah, but like real friends or just like friends for the night? Not
I mean,
in
like,
terms of like sex, but like in terms of like,
super.
because
I've
friends
never
for the
done that
night
before.
sounded, no, because I was like, oh, like real friends or friends just for the night.
No,
Like it
no,
sounded
I
bad.
mean
Let me clarify,
like
like real friends.
superficial friends, but like like friends.
But I mean, it's very hard to make lifelong, true
No,
friendship.
I don't mean like yeah, that's true. Yeah, not at
That's
bars.
what I mean in a sense. Like it's very hard to meet new, like, because think about it. For one real friend that you meet, you need to meet like 100 superficial friends.
That's true. Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like when I met you, I met 100 other girls,
that's true.
but I
Yeah.
picked you. You know what I mean?
Thank you. Pick me.
Selen, I choose.
Love me.
I
Does
love you.
anyone get that reference? It's Grey's
Oh
Anatomy.
no,
Early seasons.
I did not watch Grey's Anatomy.
I don't watch it anymore, but like early seasons, there was a reference. I think. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
Well, Selen, I've got one last one.
Go for it.
You have one more, or are you all out?
I have one more, but it's like not an important one.
No, do it.
No. Go for it.
No, do it. We can. Worst case, we'll cut it out.
It's like a
Better have
finishing
the
one
word.
though, so like I don't want to finish with. I don't want to like
I'll finish
continue
with
with
mine.
something.
You do yours and I'll do mine.
Do yours and then I'll do mine because mine is like really simple and like straightforward.
Mine's a good finishing one.
Okay then. Exercise.
Oh.
If there's one thing that you can do that's like unrefutably good for you, your mental health, your physical health, everything in your life is exercise. Just exercise. Do something. Go for a walk outside. Go for a run. Go to the gym. Ask a friend who like likes exercising to train you.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Can you train me?
Exercise.
I've heard someone say like you're never gonna regret an exercise, so just do it.
To be fair, I've heard that before, and I have regretted exercising before.
Really?
I
Oh,
have, because
wow.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you know that I have exercised for like years, and like
Yeah.
as a routine. And there have been times where I was like, oh yeah, I've like spent so much like mental energy to get myself here, and it wasn't even like that great of a workout. It still benefits you. Just go for it.
But if it benefits you, you should never regret that exercise. That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
Yeah,
you
but I
should
mean, you don't
never
really feel
regret an
like that
exercise.
sometimes.
Okay.
Still, exercise is never going to be bad for you.
That's true. That's true. Well, unless you hurt yourself.
Unless you hurt yourself, don't hurt
Yeah.
yourself.
We just said the same thing at the same
Yeah.
time. But yeah. Well, my last one that I have is that you and you alone are responsible for your own happiness.
Preach. That's very true. That's
Which,
100% true.
yeah.
And that goes for everything, because everything in life depends on how you look at it.
Yeah.
It's just your perspective, how you approach it, how you want it to look. And obviously, there are some awful things, and no one's going to debate that they're awful. But whatever it is, it's your responsibility to just deal with it, experience whatever emotion you need to experience,
Yep.
get through it, get help, talk to friends, talk to family, do whatever you need, and then build yourself up again, you know?
Absolutely. And never expect your happiness to come from another person.
No.
It should
That's
come from you.
that's unfair to that person.
It is. And also, it means nothing because then your happiness is reliant on that other person. So it should come from within you and for yourself. And that is happiness.
That's very true.
Did you like my finisher?
I did. I'm glad you finished.
Oh, that's what she said.
Do we have 28 or do we have less?
Did you hear my? I said that's what she said.
You did? I did. To what?
I'm glad you finished.
Oh, fuck. I don't think girls ever say that.
That's true. I think we have
the other way around.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. We have at least 28. I think we have more, but I might.
That's
Yeah,
good. You can cut out the ones where I like stutter or like cannot pronounce words because I'm too drunk.
By the way, we've been going for a long time. Should we say goodbye?
That's what she said.
That was a good one. Should we say goodbye?
Thank you.
Oh. All right. I mean, I'm still gonna be here. We're just gonna stop recording, but.
Okay, let's say our name one more time.
Oh, okay.
Say my name.
Your name is Selen?
You did get that reference, no?
Oh no.
It was Breaking Bad.
Say my name. Oh. How in the hell would I have gotten that reference?
You wouldn't have. It was really stupid.
I mean, I know Breaking Bad and I know Say My Name, but like that
was really dumb. It really wasn't relevant even.
That's okay. That's all right.
My brain is like a ping pong thing right now. It just like goes from idea to idea.
You mean a ping pong ball? That's
ping pong ball. I'm just too drunk.
And maybe I'll do our outro for us and we can say our name at the same time. So we are Selen and Steffi, and we are
somewhere on the runaway.